Hello, everybody. I'm Steve Lentini. I'm the founder of Lord and Lentini, Training for Life, The Best Getting Better, and the creator of the Acorn Brain coaching system and methodology. And the Acorn Brain Coach.com is a place that you can test coaching for yourself. And it's based on my work, 45 years of work, and all the books I've written. I think I'm up to 18. I'm not sure, but that doesn't matter. Um, my work is about reprogramming the mind, and leaders have to do that as well, right? And most people here, I'm going to get copies of my books. Probably should have had them ready, but that's okay. So your brain is brilliant, but it's not always your friend. And why your brain is not always a friend, and simple strategies to change that. And I wrote last year, No BS Coaching, wake up from the BS you tell yourself, right? Because we all tell ourselves stories, and leaders do it about their teams and about the way they react to things and how they handle certain challenges. And then I wrote How to Train Your Mind, written by a dragon, program your mind for success, because I'm born in the year of the dragon. So I took some license with that. But it's all about reprogramming our minds to approach things differently in life, and especially for leaders. So this is episode 9 in my series. There'll be a total of 13. And then I'll continue from there. And this episode is building psychological safety through awareness. And how do leaders do that? Well, first of all, right now, do you feel like your teams share ideas freely, or only when they feel safe? Or do you feel like your team can give you feedback without a reaction, or can share ideas? And I've had people tell me, I don't think people tell me the truth. And that's because they don't feel safe with sharing the truth. I've even had team members working for people tell me that they didn't feel safe sharing ideas, because what happens is leaders make people wrong. And how they do that is dismissing ideas without a discussion. Or I'm curious, what's behind that idea? How did you see that would be helpful? What's some of the other thoughts you've had about the idea? That to be curious and let people develop some of their thoughts. And then when it comes to reactions, that's the acorn brain. If you feel your body tensing up and you're getting anxious or angry or frustrated or disappointed with someone's while they're speaking, and you're the leader, you're actually giving them reason not to share with you. Psychological safety is built by reprogramming the acorn brain. Because if you're reacting, the automatic thought that leads to an automatic response is not creating psychological safety. For all my clients, I'm an authorized partner of Wiley Everything Disc. So we take disc profiles. I have them take disc profiles, and they learn how to communicate with different styles on the disc. And that creates psychological safety, because if you don't learn that, that's the acorn brain is running you. You'll be reacting to people when all it was is a clash of your styles. It's a clash of styles. And so it takes some reprogramming of the mind. Leaders have to work on that, and even say it, hey, I'm working on not reacting, and I want to create a space for everyone to share their ideas. So let's just dig in. When someone suggests something, let's ask a few questions. Let's get curious. What's behind your idea? What are some of the thoughts you've had? Are you creating an outline? Are there some facts you'd like to share with us? What could it solve? What could it help us with? It's curiosity that creates psychological safety, not reacting. And that's where leaders make a mistake, because they believe they're right. That's why they react. This brain loves us to be right. The small-minded thinker, the acorn brain. Now, I call it the acorn because most people can see the potential that it could become an oak. It's not shaped like the amygdala, right, which would be a walnut. But most people don't know what a walnut tree looks like. Mostly we understand what an oak looks like, a majestic oak. Our thinking can become a majestic oak. Our thinking can become a majestic oak. So we can become leaders that are creating psychological safety if you feel like the team doesn't tell you the truth, and that you can't get people to share their ideas. That's you. It's on you. You're accountable for it. You're responsible for it. And somewhere you're making people you're helping them feel unsafe. You're not building safety because you're reacting instead of learning to respond, noticing the emotions that well up in you when you're hearing people's ideas, or maybe even they're giving you feedback. Notice, are you getting anxious, frustrated, angry, disappointed? Those are indicators that you're stuck in low frequency primal thinking. And that kind of thinking only creates havoc in a company, especially if it comes from the leaders. Learning to reprogram the mind. I have corporations that have introduced this in some cases for over 20 years. I'm working with people on their teams to reprogram their minds, moving from a reactive, small minded thinker and noticing when they feel some of those emotions in their body and switching them to a open, responsive mode, curious mode, where they create safety. And if people are defending on a team, that's an indicator that they don't feel safe. That's up to each leader to notice it. Say, hey, I can see there's some defending going on. So let's talk about that. I'm not making you wrong. I want to discuss the idea. You could even say, as a leader, sometimes I'm reactive too, that I'm working on reprogramming my mind. You can reprogram your mind, right? How to Train Your Mind, written by a dragon, is one of the books I've written. And I wrote that after I wrote No BS Coaching. Wake up from the BS stories you tell yourself, because the brain gathers evidence to prove we're true, that we're right. Dr. James Doty wrote the book Mind Magic, and he says, think of the brain this way. Whatever you put in the file system, there's a bloodhound going looking for evidence, despite evidence of the contrary. The file system and a bloodhound, he said, that's your subconscious. Whatever you put in that file system, the bloodhound is going looking for evidence of, despite evidence of the contrary. So let's just say you wanted to find me. You'd give the bloodhound my t-shirt. It would ignore every other scent until it found me. That's how the brain works. But we don't realize it because we want to be right. The brain wants you to be right. So if you're shutting other people down, you're not developing curiosity, you're not even setting boundaries before meetings, like, hey, let's talk about no eye rolls, no sighs, no body language shift. Whoever has the floor gets our full attention, and we're going to discuss the ideas. It's based on curiosity. We're going to be curious about the ideas, and we're going to suss them out. And that builds something. Another book I wrote was Your Brain is Brilliant, but it's not always your friend. And why? Because the brain has the way you've programmed it for over 35, 40, 50 years. And if you don't start to question some of that programming, here's what the brain does. When you first learned to drive, you were paying attention to everything and wanting to do it right. Eventually, the subconscious took over. You don't have to worry about driving today. It just happens. So here's the thing. It's the same with your emotional responses and reactions to people over the years, that if you don't question them, and most people don't, most people believe they're thinking, it's not a prevalent conversation, it's not predominant in society to reprogram one's mind. So neuroscientists say that if you don't work on reprogramming your mind, by the age of 35, they can predict pretty much what your life will be, because you'll be reacting based on your prior training to every situation, every emotional event that's occurred over 35 years. Now, the good news is you can reprogram anytime. You could start at 50, you could start at 60. Whenever you catch it, you can start reprogramming the mind. Here's how to catch it. The people and the events that you react to the most with primal thinking, anger, frustration, anxiety, sadness, disappointment, go right down the list. I'm not good enough. My team's not working hard enough. My team's not good enough. Those are primal thoughts. And you can shift with a gratitude break or a walk. You have to take a physical break for a second or a minute or 2 minutes or have a cup of coffee or a tea. A pattern interrupt, it's called. It interrupts the thinking, the primal thinking. And then you can move into more powerful thinking, which is solving the problem, creativity, gratitude, and counting your blessings, knowing that we always handle this. So let's move into accomplishing this and solving the problem. Those bring powerful emotions, emotions of peace, emotions of joy and happiness. And accomplishment, again, is an emotion. We feel accomplished, and they're powerful. It requires a shift. I do have some writing on it, negative primal emotions and thoughts versus powerful emotions and thoughts. And that when we catch the primal, because that's human, we're going to get stuck in some of that low frequency energy, as RJ Spina calls it, and we can shift into high frequency energy. And when we do, it changes the path of our life. It changes how people feel around us. When people are not judgmental, when people are open-minded, when people are not reactive, it energizes the people around them. I had a gentleman tell me the other day they're handling, they're experiencing a real problem with a change in a software system, and one of the leaders of the company said to me, "I love it. I think it's fun, and that's what I'm sharing with people. Hey, this is fun. We're going to keep advancing," and they are. But there are some people, of course, throughout the company that are stuck with, why did we go here? Why did we change it? Their leaders are saying, this is fun, and we're going to make advances. There's no way around this. We have to go through it. And they're doing it. They're doing it because their leaders have the powerful energy going for them, looking at the challenges as fun. So creating psychological safety comes from the leaders. And you got to start with you. Leaders have to start with themselves if they feel like their team won't tell them the truth, won't give them feedback. They make everyone wrong. If there's an idea, the meetings, people are eye rolling and staring at each other and shifting their body language. You're responsible for setting that atmosphere of those meetings. And you're responsible for leading the team from reactive mode into responsive mode, to not listening to this brain. That's my thought for today. And if you have any questions, you can email me, steve@stevelentini.com. Here, I'll show you. Here's another one of my books, Helping People Buy. In fact, I'll show you the new one, Helping People Buy. You can email me, Steve, let's go this way, steve@stevelentini.com. Steve@stevelentini.com. Email me. I'm glad to help. I'll give you free coaching. I can help you learn to reprogram your mind and move from reactive to responsive. It makes you a better leader, and move from negative primal thinking and emotions into powerful emotions, powerful thinking. And it makes a difference. It makes a difference. You build psychological safety as a leader. And we just talked about how to do that. So listen in if you missed it. Thank you.